Hello friends of the internet, welcome back to the Driven Dave YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. And today, as you can see right behind me, I've got the 2025 Chrysler Pacifica. I believe this is a touring trim. So we're going to check out some of the good things and some of the not so good things. So let's get into it. All right, so let's get started. I've got a proximity key in my pocket, so all I have to do is press this button once. And behold, a cargo van. It's really fantastic. I apologize for all the leaves on the floor. We've had this rental for the last 3 weeks, and there was a lot of rain, so, and you don't wash rental cars. So anyway, check it out. You've got, I can't remember how many cubic feet of space, but it is quite generous. As you can see in the back here, you've got a little cup holder storage situation on both sides. You've also got a 12-volt power point there. So, behold, and I think this is probably one of the best parts of any minivan, but particularly the Chrysler, and I'll get into why in just a second. But let's, you can see I'm one-handed here, I don't have any assistance, so let's see just how easy these seats are. That was easy. Again, I'm just going to pull up, and boom. So now you've got your rear row. Also, these headrests just pop up like this. To retract them, you just pull that and they pop out of place. And your kids are going to love that. Now let's go around to the side here and take a look. One pull of the button's going to open that power door. And look at that, you've got a nice executive seating, plenty of legroom. But you may say, well, you know, I want those middle row seats. No problem. We've got stow and go. So all I need to do, and I haven't tried putting these up yet, but that just goes up one-handed, very nice. I think I can just pull on this. Yeah. That locks into place. And boom, you're set. And then you've got this nice leaf-filled storage bin under the seat, which is really quite handy. And then I guess we just need to pop this up. Like I said, I haven't tried putting these back up. Right? Oh yeah, and that's how that goes. There we go. Just gonna make sure all of that's flush. Yeah, easy peasy. Now you do have to move the front seats slightly forward just to make room, but there you go. You can even just leave it in this configuration if you just have, you know, a couple of kids or whatever, and you want that room for extra stuff. You got USB-A, USB-C, nice map pocket. We're gonna go ahead and open that other side as well and bring that seat out. But still, even with all the seats up, got plenty of storage room. Again, this is a 2025 model. It's got just over 20,000 miles. It is a rental car, so who knows what kind of life it's been having. We've certainly enjoyed it. There we go. Again, the fact that I can do this one-handed, I think is pretty remarkable. Bring that up. That's it. Boom. So that's really good. I'm going to hop in here. Again, got the nice captain's chair. And now, you know, it is worth noting that being the stow and go seats, you know, they aren't maybe the thickest seats on the market, but you know, they have a decent amount of comfort. You can see plenty of headroom. I'm also able, can recline pretty far, get pretty comfy here. I don't know what you can see, but I'm pretty comfy and I'm tired, so I may just sleep. And then a few other amenities for the back. You got these AC vents. Looks like a microphone, but I don't know what that's for. Little grab handle and little laundry hanger there, that's nice. And then little AC control panel, so your rear passengers can control all of that. Also back here, this is a pretty neat little piece of kit. You just grab this and pull it out, one click, you've got cup holders, which is nice. And then if you pull it again, you can pull this all the way back and you get all this storage. This tends to want to come out real easily and kind of flop around. So I like the flexibility of what it can do. I just don't really like the way it was executed. And then we'll get into the center console in just a minute. But that's about it for the back seat. I know in the limited or maybe the touring trims, they've got like screens in the back of the seats, and those are pretty cool. And I really like a good minivan, so it's fun to kind of look at all of these different features. Let's hop to the front, see what we got going on. Now again, I had to move the front seat forward just to make room for the stow and go demonstration. And also I'm about to return this car, so it was nice to be able to really check and make sure I got everything out of the car. And what better way than folding all of the seats completely out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and do a little cold start. I'm going to go ahead and actually shut the doors. You've got controls up here for the doors and the hatch. And also you've got this little mirror that tucks away. And that's nice, so you can keep an eye on your rear passengers. We're going to go ahead and start the car. It also has remote start, which is cool. But we're just going to... You've all seen remote start, right? So, in any case, getting onto the front controls here, we talked just a little bit about these controls. We've got the light controls here for your map lights. That's going to be your hatch. I guess that's going to turn off your power sliding doors. That opens and closes your sliding doors. And then you got a little sunglasses holder. So very nice. Looks like you got an SOS function here on the mirror. And I don't know what the assist is. I haven't messed with that. Little home link, 1, 2, and 3 built into the visor here. Scary guy looking at me with the camera. Lighted mirrors. And here you've got basically the same instrument display that they've had since 2017. We'll get into that more later. Infotainment system, which I'll get into more in a second. And then here are all your physical controls. You've got your silly gear selector here, the electronic parking brake, basic HVAC controls here, which is nice that they're physical buttons. And then you've got the auto start stop disabling button, which I like being able to disable that because it's stupid. Parking off. I believe there's a way this thing can automatically park, but I haven't figured out how to do it. Lane keep assist off, traction off, screen off. I don't know why we need a whole button for that, but hey, that's cool. Got the hazards and the mute, so that's pretty nice. And looking down the center here, you've got, if you press this button, hey, water. Glad I didn't leave that. But yeah, this can organize all your change. Since nobody uses change anymore, that's gonna be great. You got this big cubby, but I wish it would kind of lock into place so you could leave it open if you wanted to, but it kind of like flops around if you don't close it. So a little bit of a gripe there from me. This cavernous little storage thing. And this, I mean, I guess you could put a wallet here or a phone. I'm not really sure. You've got your USB-C, USB-A auxiliary input, and then a second bank. This one, you can actually do wired CarPlay, which is nice. I like that very much. And that works quite well. Wireless CarPlay as well, and that also works quite well. Standard Dodge, Stellantis, Chrysler, Jeep, I don't know what, but you've got all of these controls. This is kind of an interesting system. You can turn regular cruise control on, or you can turn cruise control off, but then turn on adaptive cruise control. So, yeah, 2 separate buttons. Just lots of buttons that don't do a whole lot in this car. And then you can adjust the follow distance of the adaptive cruise. That system works okay. I'm glad it has it. Cancel, resume, and then speed up, slow down, and then again, regular cruise on and off. And then these buttons are going to control this center display. I'm trying to keep you out of the glare there. You can see we're averaging 18.5 miles per gallon, kind of mixed driving, lots of idling, and, you know, minivan duty. We put probably about 1,000 miles on this car, and so we've got a pretty good feel for it at this point. It does have automatic high beams, and that is kind of cool. Over here on your lighting control, you can turn on and off the fog lights. This, if you slide it all the, if you slide it all the way up, is going to turn on and off all of your interior lights, the LED lights. And I will say, you know, they've had these LED lights, and I think most cars are having these now. You know, it's like they're very bright, and yet you can't see anything. That's just kind of my 2 cents on those. So not a huge fan. Over here, going to the stock, you've got your rear wiper and your front wipers. And it's funny how this stock, oh, I guess it does move up, but it doesn't do a whole lot else. And then, so you can control, again, some of the lighting features over here. Power mirrors on the door. I apologize for going fast. I got to return this car momentarily. Over here, we've got your memory settings. I'm just trying to keep you out of the sun. Sorry about the terrible angles. Memory settings for the seats. That's cool. Little cubby right here for some storage. I'll open this up so you can get a better view. Little cubby there, and a little bit of storage in the door pocket. And I mean, I think that's most everything. When we move down here, you can see another power point, which is nice. So you've got kind of a lot of options to power your devices, which, you know, who doesn't like that? Over here, we've got just a very kind of standard glove box. Doesn't have necessarily a lot of room, but it has some room. I'm going to go ahead and back this van up a little bit so I can show you the rear camera. I don't have my seatbelt on, so it doesn't automatically turn this off. But usually when I have my seatbelt on, it will disable that immediately, which is great. Nice big screen. Well, I should have just pulled the van back. Now I've got whatever. As I turn the wheel, you can see the lines turn to show me where the van's going to go, and that's a nice feature. Going to engage the parking brake and put that back. Getting to the infotainment system here, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I find it lags a little bit, you know, I think, and it also, it's just kind of, you see how long that takes? There's some good features here. They're just hard to get to, you know? Like, it took me 2 weeks to figure out how to adjust the speaker settings. Finally found it. Audio settings. But it's like, none of the... See? I wanted that, and I finally got it. But you can see it's like, none of the menus really, like, make a whole lot of... It's just not... It's not terrific, if I'm honest. But, you know, it works, and the stereo's okay, and, you know, the CarPlay is okay when it works, and everything's fine. It could just be better. That's all. So we're going to talk about driving impressions in a minute. But again, the Android Auto and the CarPlay, pretty cool. I'm glad it has it. And, you know, we enjoyed using that very much. And so, yeah, next we're going to talk about just a little bit more about the center console. This is real easy to clutter up. These cup holders are decent. They'll hold my Hydro Flask, actually, and that's great. But it's like, I really wish there was something that would open, but because of this, none of this opens. So this is kind of all you get. And there just aren't quite enough cup holders for the front. Even though you can kind of shove a bottle down in there, it's lacking. I think for a minivan, it needs more cup holders. Our Sienna had one that was right here, and that was really nice. And I know the newer Siennas have 2 right here and 2 here. That's great. But yeah, this one just kind of doesn't. So that's a bummer. Oh, heated steering wheel works very well. Heated front seats, also very nice. And you access those controls right here. I don't know if you can see that too well on the camera, but there's the heated steering wheel. There's the heated seats. And yeah, and the same thing for the passenger. You just tap that. Again, nothing is like super duper. It's not super duper intuitive, but you know, once you get the hang of it, I guess it's okay. I'm going to delete this device. It's really important when you're returning a rental car to delete. I don't even know if this is my phone, but I want it off of there for sure. So if we go to the phone thing, nope. All right, good. Device manager. All right, everything's gone. That's great. And yeah, so anyway, let's talk about driving impressions next. And so yeah, I'll join you in just a moment. All right, so you've joined me behind the wheel of the 2025 Pacifica. Again, this is the touring model, and this is the non-hybrid. This is just the regular guy here. It's got a 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. I believe it makes about 287 horses and something like 267 foot-pounds of torque, which is, you know, a decent amount of power for a van, although it is heavy. That is mated to a 9-speed automatic gearbox, which honestly does shift pretty smooth. I know sometimes these have a reputation of having kind of some clunky or hard shifts, but my experience with this one is that it's been pretty good. There have been a few hard shifts, but for the most part, it's been just fine. Just as a all-around, you know, getting around car, it drives really quite nice. It's fairly easy to maneuver. It's fairly easy to park. It's got a decent turning radius, and all in all, you know, pretty pleasant car to drive. The seat comfort is decent, although I have found that, like, after, you know, however many hours of sitting in the car, and here I'll point this at me, after a certain number of hours sitting in the car, we did have kind of some long days where we drove like from LA down to Riverside, and we got stuck in pre-Thanksgiving traffic and all of that stuff. So we were doing a lot of stop and go and just a lot of sitting. And I did feel that, like, you know, the cushion was not adequate for me, but, you know, comfort is very subjective. I'm just telling you my experience. I didn't love it. I wished it was a little bit more comfortable. Also, these armrests, I feel like it kind of forces my shoulder to kind of go up high and shrug a little bit. So I don't love the angle of the armrests either. But, you know, that's just kind of that's a personal thing. You may love it. It may be perfect for you. Also, this steering wheel is tilt and telescoping. I think that's also very nice. Road noise in this van, really not bad. It's not the quietest vehicle I've ever been in, but compared to our 2008 Sienna, rest in peace, this is much quieter. So there's a decent amount of you know, isolation from the road noise and the wind noise. And I believe this van even has active noise cancellation. I know that was offered as a feature. I was considering buying one of these, so I went down the rabbit hole. And in a little bit, I'll tell you what my decision was and why. But for now, let's just talk about how it drives. Again, you know, decent suspension. I've found in hard cornering, it does tend to just kind of, you know, lean over, and you know, it'll hang on, but it's heavy. It's just a very heavy vehicle. And when you have, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in it, it starts to get really heavy. The brakes are quite good. I feel like, you know, a good amount of confidence stepping on the pedal. They're certainly not very sporty, but they definitely get the job done, and that's nice. We'll talk about acceleration as well, and I'll probably do a quick 0 to 60. It'll be uphill, so it's not totally fair, but you'll get the idea. And you'll also hear the engine sound. I'm going to switch to the vertical view, and we'll do a quick rip here. All right, so hopefully I just inserted that clip again, and that's going to be vertical, because that's going to be a YouTube short that'll get me thousands of views and make me pennies. It's going to be great. But anyway, you know, it's got decent power. The engine sounds nice when it's at wide open throttle. I'm going to give it another little pull here. it just kind of takes a while. I know I'm being picky. It is a van. I don't expect it to be that fast, but I feel like in 2025, it's a little on the slow side. And I don't know if you noticed, but you know, if you want to rewind it and listen for when my foot hits the mat, and then you'll hear the transmission kind of go, you know, it takes a couple of seconds for it to actually decide what gear to pick. And it's just kind of surprising. I just thought it would be a slightly faster situation. There's a motorcycle cop right there, so I may not do another full throttle just yet. I can probably do it now. So let's see what it does from 40. Did you hear that? There's kind of a Did you hear that? I mean, like, you know, it'll hustle. And I find that really, like, this van has the most amount of power from 60 or 70. So let's actually show that right now. Ready? And then when it shifts, wow, it's great that we're in Mexico. This is great. But yeah, once it shifts, like it'll really start to boogie. So it's great on the freeway. Hopefully now you can get an idea of like highway road noise. There's also something in this door panel somewhere that's just been rattling, and it's driving me nuts. Because it's really like the only thing in this car that's making noise, because it is pretty well isolated and, you know, all of that. So I don't know what that is. Let's see if you can hear that. But, you know, this is a rental car. Who knows how it's been treated. Getting on the brakes hard, again, slows it down really well. We're doing this sweeping turn. I'll kind of lean into the turn a little more. But, you know, a little bit of tire squeal. She holds on. You know, really nice driving vehicle. It's not bad at all. For me, I think the transmission lets it down because it just doesn't shift quick enough, and it can't make up its mind. So, you know, that's kind of a point off for it. But, you know, if the transmission is ready to do your bidding, then it's just fine. So I don't know. It's a minivan. That's, you know, most of you probably aren't going to drive it that hard, but that's just my experience with it, and I just wanted to share that. But again, going over bumps, it's got a very compliant suspension. I think it feels just fine. Really no huge complaints. Now I will say I did compare this with, I actually like test drove a 2013 Toyota Sienna, and I thought, so I'm going from a 2025 to a 2013. It's going to feel terrible. But so before I get into that, let me just kind of get into my conclusion here. So we've talked about the interior of the car. We've talked about how it feels on the road. We've talked about power and acceleration, handling, noise, all of that stuff. So I guess the question is, what do I think about it? Well, it's complicated. So here's what I think. I love minivans. I love that Chrysler still makes this, because this is, as far as I know, I think this may be the only thing that Chrysler makes anymore. You're looking at the whole Chrysler lineup right here. And thank you, Chrysler, for continuing to make a minivan. There aren't that many choices nowadays. So this is definitely a strong contender. And if you're considering buying a van, this is certainly one you should consider. Having said that, here are my kind of like concluding thoughts on it. It's 2025. This van came out in 2017. I'm just going to pull in here to collect my thoughts. Came out in 2017. I don't feel that this van has evolved much past 2017. I would say it's pretty long in the tooth, as they say. It does not feel like a 2025 vehicle. It has some really good amenities. It has some really good functionality. It drives pretty well. The gas mileage is, you know, minivan. But yeah, infotainment, it's not 2025 infotainment, driver assistance, like the adaptive cruise, it works okay, but it's not 2025 good. And then, so I drove a 2013 Toyota Sienna. It was so much better. Like, I was so shocked because I thought, well, we've really been loving this Pacifica. Certainly this old Sienna with 130 something thousand miles is going to be terrible. And I drove it and I loved it. It was so much better. I just thought it drove better. Even though it didn't have quite as much power, it felt faster. The brakes felt better. The suspension felt better. That's just my personal preference. I know you may not like the Sienna, and that's totally fine. Again, the Pacifica is not a bad van, and I'm not saying it is, but it's not a Toyota. It's built fairly well, but it's built like a Chrysler. You know, I wouldn't be opposed to buying one of these, but I would feel more comfortable buying a Toyota or a Honda, and that's probably what I'm going to do. But yeah, the reason why I ended up in this van for the last 3 weeks is because our Sienna got in a bad car accident and was sadly totaled, but it did a good job of, you know, protecting my loved ones, which is the most important thing. So I'll probably get another Sienna. But it's been really nice having this Pacifica for the last 3 weeks. It's been nice living with it. The kids really liked it. You know, we all liked it. It was a good van. It's just, I think, you know, when you're talking about spending like a decent amount of money, you know, maybe not. But I've seen videos of these. Like there was one that had 500,000 miles. I saw another one with 200,000 miles. Plenty with 150, 160,000 miles. So I just hear the transmissions tend to be kind of the weak point. And my mechanic, Nate, told me he doesn't like the repair procedures for Chryslers. So, you know, I've decided that, you know, Honda or Toyota is going to be the way to go. But again, certainly an option out there. Definitely something you should consider if you're in the van market. And hey, maybe if you just need a van as a spare vehicle, this might be a good one for you. You know, all in all, it's a good package. I just think if you're buying a new one and spending new van kind of money, I find this to be a little bit disappointing, just, you know, from a features and modern standpoint. So hopefully that's a fair assessment, and hopefully that makes sense to you. If you have, you know, comments or questions, feel free to drop them down below. Unfortunately, I got to take this unit back. It's going back to Enterprise. Huge shout out. I mean, not sponsored, but they've treated us very well, and always do, at least in my neighborhood. So really appreciate you all at Enterprise if you happen to watch this. Yeah, so we're gonna miss this van. It's been fun. You know, again, I probably wouldn't spend new van kind of money on one of these, but you know, on the used market, it might be worth it. So let me know what you think. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, check out my other videos. I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, my friends, stay driven.
Perfect, perfect.